Hello everyone. On behalf of Thinknyx Technologies, I welcome you all to another exciting video. In this video, we will be learning how to get started with AWS CLI. AWS offers a wide range of services that can be managed directly from the cloud. Instead of using AWS Management Console, you can efficiently manage these services right from your terminal using the powerful AWS CLI tool. In this video, we will demonstrate how to install AWS CLI, create an IAM user to manage EC2, generate access key, configure AWS using those keys, and interact with AWS by running essential EC2 commands. Let's kick off this demo by installing the AWS CLI. First, open your browser and search for AWS CLI install. Click on the official AWS link, which should be the first result. The AWS CLI is available for Linux, macOS, and Windows. Since I'm using Windows, let's go ahead and click on that option. Next, download the MSI installer by clicking on the provided link. This will begin the download process. Once the download is finished, locate the installer file and open it. Now, simply follow the steps. Click Next, accept the license agreement, and click Next again. Finally, click Install. If you are prompted for admin access, go ahead and grant it. The installation will only take a few seconds. Once done, let's click on Finish to wrap it up. To confirm everything is set up correctly, open your terminal and type AWS --version. If the version information is displayed, it means the AWS CLI has been successfully installed. This completes our first step. Now, let's move on to the second step, which is creating an IAM user. This user will manage our EC2 instances. To begin, go to the AWS Management Console and navigate to the IAM service. Click on IAM and under Access Management, select Users. I already have an existing user, but for this demo, we will create a new one. Let's call this user Thinknyx. Click Next. Now we need to attach the necessary permissions. Since this user needs full control over EC2, we will attach the EC2 full access policy. Search for this policy, select it, and then click Next to review everything. Once you have reviewed the details, go ahead and click Create User. So the second step is now complete. We have successfully created an IAM user named Thinknyx and granted it full access to manage EC2 instances. Moving on to the third step, which is generating an access key. Now, why do we need this key? This access key allows our Thinknyx user to access AWS services programmatically through the AWS CLI. To generate the key, start by clicking on the Thinknyx user, which we just created. Then navigate to the Security Credentials tab. Under Access Keys, click Create Access Key. Since we are only using this key for CLI access, select this option, Command Line Interface or CLI, and then check the appropriate box. Click Next. If you want to add tags, you can do so. As this is optional, I'm going to skip this. and I'm going to click on Create Access Key. Now, this will generate both an access key and a secret access key. Make sure to keep these private. For this demonstration, I'm showing them to you, but normally you should store them securely. Our third step is complete. We have successfully created the access and secret keys for the Thinknyx user. Now, for the fourth step, we need to configure the AWS CLI using the access key and secret access key, which we just created. To do this, go back to your terminal and then type AWS configure. This will prompt you to enter the access key ID. Simply copy the access key ID from the AWS Management Console and paste it into the terminal. Next, it will ask for the secret access key. Again, copy the secret access key and paste it here. After that, you will need to specify the default region. For me, it's US East 1, but you should enter the region that's applicable for your setup. If nothing is pre-populated, you will have to type it manually. US-East-1, which is in my case. Finally, the default output format, I will keep it as JSON. Once you hit enter, the AWS CLI will be fully configured and ready to communicate with your AWS account. Now, let's dive into the essential EC2 commands. First, we need to access the AWS CLI command reference. In your browser, search for the same and click on the official AWS documentation link. Scroll down and you will see a list of available services. Since we want to manage EC2, search for EC2 and click on it. You will notice a long list of available commands for EC2. For this demo, I will focus on a few key ones, but feel free to explore the rest on your own. To start, let's check if we have any existing EC2 instances. The command we will use is describe instances. If you click on this command in the documentation, you can scroll down to see its synopsis and description. Let's try it out. AWS EC2 describe instances. Since I don't have any existing EC2 instances running, the output is empty. Now let's create a new EC2 instance using the run instances command. Go back to the documentation and find run instances. Scroll down to see the required options, including image ID, instance type, and key name. I'll open a new notepad to prepare the command. We need to specify an image ID. To get this, go to the EC2 dashboard and click on Launch Instance. We are not launching any instance manually, just grabbing the AMI ID. Let's choose an Ubuntu instance, copy its AMI ID, and make sure we're staying in the same region as that we have configured, which is US East 1 in my case. Next, we will simply specify T2 micro for the instance type. I will use a key pair named demo, which I've already generated. So here is the command. After running the command, you will see an output with the instance ID. Now if I run the describe instances command again, I can see the details of the newly created instance. Next, Let's terminate this instance using the terminate instances command. Here is how we can terminate the instance. AWS EC2 terminate instances, and let's provide the option instance IDs and provide our instance ID. You will see the instance state changes to shutting down. After a few seconds, if you run describe instances again and check the console, you will see the instances has been terminated. That's how you can use these essential EC2 commands. Be sure to check out the additional examples and documentation provided by AWS to explore more commands. Thank you.
And that wraps up our video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.